Hello again. This is Oliver from Switzerland, and welcome to the MindWarrior Podcast, where I talk about just topics that I'm interested in and that I want to share with you. So cool that you found your way here, and have fun chilling with me and maybe sharing your opinion in the end in the comments. The topic for today is how to get rid or how to be with your fear if you have anxiety attacks like I did for maybe seven years. Yeah, maybe 7 to 8 years. I've had maybe every 3 days or every 3 nights. I had those anxiety attacks where I just felt my body was kind of burning. So it was a burning sensation and that I got that just came when I had fearful thoughts. All right, so I had this burning and sometimes also I had nightmares, and then I woke up in the the next nightmare, which was my life, because I had so many problems. Not only fear, but it's just what I think, what I want to talk about today. And if you have anxiety too and fearful thoughts, and you're kind of lost in this, you know what I'm talking about. So it is very, very hard to deal with. For me, it got better when I just instead of going away from the feeling, I went to it with my perception, and I try to say, okay, now you're here again, and I didn't curse on it or whatever. I just thought, okay, I'm resignated, it's okay that the feeling is there. And then at this night I just watched it, and I stayed with it. So I kind of learned the ability to be with what I feel, even if it's uncomfortable, because when we are young we don't learn this in school, so nobody tells us that feeling your bad feelings is very important, so they don't know either. Maybe a psychiatrist or whatever. But it should be accessible, this knowledge, to children at a young age, maybe like 7, 8, 9, and kind of have cool ways to show them in a child way. So how to deal with negative thoughts that surely a lot of children will have because of their unconscious parents. Still, I'm using unconscious in a spiritual sense. That just means they don't know what they do. They are they are getting controlled by their habits, their mind patterns, their beliefs, so their mentality, whatever. Yes. So the problem is that we all are running away from things we don't want to feel, which makes the feeling kind of goes into sleep mode. It's still there somewhere, and then you will, in an unconscious way, always try to have the same situations that trigger the feeling, so it can get processed. If you don't look at it, it will stay there and come up again and again until you feel it until you go with your perception and find the feeling where it is. Is it in your stomach? Is it in your chest area? Is it in your head? That's where I had a lot of uncomfortable and negative and strange feelings when I was mentally ill. So I felt like sick all the time, and really in a psychological way. It was very strange. And in some nights I felt my brain cooling down. So it was so hot in my head, and I had so many thoughts, and I was so miserable. And then I just laid there, and I felt some, like a cool sensation going down from the top of my brain. So like inside the head. It was not outside the head, it was inside the head. Really felt my fucking brain cool down. And it was such a great feeling. Very strange, and I thought that maybe I should go see a doctor and tell him. But yeah, you know how it is. You kind of stay at home and until you really know, okay, now I have to go to the doctor. And I went to the doctors. I went a lot, but it didn't really help, because the doctors couldn't tell me, hey, you need therapy ASAP for your muscles, and you just sat around for years. So you need to go in therapy, and it's not a solution to just take these painkillers every day. And yeah, but that didn't happen. So I got painkillers, and I was not ready to see that I really, really, really need to go to therapy and get help with my muscles. Yeah, I had this for years. I had so many problems with my body and with my perception of everything. It was very weird. So the fearful state is a state that is so ugly, man. It's just gray, and everything is against you. Everything is like hostile. Every face you think of is too much. So it's so unnecessary and boring. Every thought and everything is just so miserable. So if you have this, if you know what I'm talking about, then what I can suggest that you try, if you have the next time you have this feeling, you just realize now it is the time, now there's the feeling, and you have to know that you will create fearful thoughts now, because if you are not in charge of your mind, it will just go and respond to the feeling you have, and then the feelings will get triggered again, like renewed, because of your thoughts. So it's like a circle, and you need to be alert, and you need to see, okay, now it happens, and now my head will generate bad thoughts, fearful thoughts, which will create further emotion. So you need to try this, just to look at the feeling where it is, and maybe it's a lot. In my body, it was like fucking everywhere at some point. It was like this burning sensation, and every thought triggered a new burning sensation inside my body. Couldn't sleep, I was so lost, man. And then what helped was really, I forced myself to just be present, to just watch the feeling and do nothing else. And if the thoughts come and say, yeah, but no, fuck you, go away, thought, I will watch the feeling now. Right? So maybe you need to do this a lot. I had to do it a lot until like, you know, it's like you grow, man. If you suffer, you grow, and at some point you just know what to do when you have the right tools. And this is one tool I can guarantee that you will get through it the fearful state, because when you look at the feeling, it will not grow. It will not go inside your head and create havoc. But you need to be very alert, and it's not easy because the mind comes and has very plausible reasons to be fearful. All right, so you need to really step back and see that this is not the truth. What your thoughts create is just a reflection of the feeling, you know. So, I feel bad, I feel bad, I feel bad. And then you already created the person who feels bad now, right? So if you don't think about this stuff, like this, the person that suffers doesn't get created, and you can just watch the feeling and be with it, and you realize that the feeling is maybe uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, and maybe you have you need to go to work tomorrow, or you have something to do tomorrow, and you need to just give a fuck. If you have stress, because I had so much stress because of this, when I needed to go to a doctor in the next morning and I couldn't sleep, and then I texted the doctor, I wrote the email, so I cannot come, I can not even sleep, you know, and then I could sleep, and I called and told him, hey, can I come now, because it was so, I needed to tell them that I cannot come to them because I wanted to sleep, and it was just so much stress to have this meeting, you know. So if you have anything to do and you cannot sleep in the night, you give a fuck. If it's not working, you can call your boss and you say, hey, I cannot come today because it just doesn't work. I couldn't sleep, I'm fearful, and whatever. And it's okay, you know. In our minds, everything seems like this massive disaster. It feels like so bad when you think about, oh, now you fail someone and you fail yourself, and see, you couldn't do it, and whatever. All those thoughts are so useless, man. So damaging to your own system and so useless. You need to see that complaining about the isness of the moment is so futile, just useless. You just simply cannot fight reality in your head. You're like at the mercy of all those very bad situations you create in your head, in your mind, in your fantasy, which will just generate those feelings again and again and again. And if you don't step back from it, if you don't see what happens in your own system, in your own mind, you will suffer forever. All right? There is a way to get out, but it's the way of getting to it. It's like you need to unite with this feeling. You need to take it, and you see it, and you tell it, you can fucking stay here, and I will be with you, with the feeling. And then I promise that you can transcend the feeling. It will vanish much faster than if you just always renew the feeling with your thoughts and create much worse thoughts. So yeah, that's what I can tell you, what I do since years, and it helps me a lot with my fear when there are very hard times, which is the case still. And yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. So maybe you already heard it from other sources, but it's so important to learn this, to learn the ability to be with your suffering and see that the suffering alone, the feeling alone, will not harm you. It's just unpleasant to be with. but you can be with it, and it will not rise into your mind if you are in control. If you see what happens, if you're not lost in it and just act out and be in a complete disastrous state, you know. So yeah, already talked for 15 minutes. Thank you very much for listening. It means a lot. And yeah, I'll be back with another video soon. Bye bye.